Sean, if I have a condominium that is vintage, for example, would that premium be different than buying in a condo building that is, say, more updated or more recently built?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you get into a vintage condo that maybe has, old trim work, special construction styles, a intricate, built-in cabinetry, fancy wood staircases, what you are looking at is, one, you want to make sure that the policy that you're purchasing is going to be covered on replacement cost versus functional replacement cost. Functional replacement cost, in the event of a total loss, they would rebuild it with modern materials, and you're not going to get that same vintage look. And not all insurance companies are going to give you this replacement cost depending on the age of your condo. So that's something that you need to discuss with your agent. On top of that, that $100 per square foot that we would do for a standard condo nowadays is probably going to be on the lower end, and you might need to talk about having a higher coverage, dollar amount per square foot, due to it being, a little bit more expensive to replace, needing specific quality contractors to come out and do a special type of work.
Would any insurance companies not insure a vintage building? Is that possible?
Yeah, so one thing that we've seen in the current market is certain insurance companies are veering away from older buildings. Now, in a city like Chicago here, we do have a lot of old buildings. We do also have a lot of new construction. So the older building, the older condo, the older home that you're buying, you are gonna limit your options on the insurance side of things, as there's just gonna be less options to pick from. Now, it doesn't necessarily always mean it's gonna be extremely more expensive, but you just have to shop a little bit differently than you would for a, brand new 2023 condo that was built just this past year.
Okay, great. So on the home insurance side, I've bought my first home, I'm in contract, I got through the inspection, so I call you, and I don't want to put you in like a bucket, but home insurance prices seem to be trending up. So what would you say like an average policy just for a normal, let's say $400,000 house is compared to a higher priced home, like a $2 million home? What kind of differences are we seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of things that factor into your rate, right? Things like the age of your roof. The older the roof is, the more expensive your premium is, the less insurance companies are going to have to choose from because they may or may not have or offer coverage. Now, what we are seeing right now is, if you look back to 2020, average homeowner's rate was about $1,400 per year in Cook County. That number has gone up to about $2,100 for a single family home. Now, the second we start looking at a multifamily home, a home built in, let's say 1890, 1920, those prices can get quite high quite quickly, right? So there's a lot of different things that factor into that, but definitely account for average in Cook County right now being about $2,100. The surrounding counties in the Chicagoland area, very similarly priced, give or take, $100 or so.
And if you're looking at a home that's like in a higher price market, in the maybe $1 million to $2 million range, what type of coverage prices are you seeing nowadays, compared to 2020?
Right, so something that's important to note is, depending on location, right, what we're gonna insure your home for is actually not gonna have anything to do with the market value of the home, but rather how much it would cost to rebuild it from the ground up today, using today's cost for labor and today's cost for building materials. Now, the reason why we do that is, in the event of a total loss, insurance companies don't just cut you a check for the amount on your policy. What they're going to do is come and rebuild your house to the same size and quality. So what we take a look at here is, some people might buy let's say a 1,500 square foot house on 20 acres, right? Now, the land that they purchased might be worth $1 million, but the house might only cost $400,000 itself to rebuild. Now, other places, you might buy a 5,000 square foot home somewhere in the city that's worth $3 million, $4 million, something like that. That's when we're talking about having a higher reconstruction cost, because it's a larger square foot, it has a basement, the quality, all those things are going to increase the price, right? Once the cost of your home to reconstruct it goes over $1 million, now you're looking at getting into what we'd call like a middle market, high net worth market, kind of transitionary spot, where not all insurers are really going to be kind of focusing on that market, offering great premiums. The point where it's probably best to talk to an agent to figure out what your best option is going to be.
Remember, I'm here for all your mortgage needs. While I do renovation lending, I also do move-in ready. So if you're unsure whether you want to get a fixer-upper or a move-in ready, I can handle both. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more news, market updates, and opportunities to save money.